Hello, everyone. My name is Michaela Cagle, and I am one of the pre-dental advisors here within the Pre-Med and Health Science Center. Welcome to DAT 101, Part 1, 2026. We are starting off with just a short disclaimer here, so you can go ahead and read that. Basically, what it's saying is that we are not doing practice questions or content review in this webinar. It is not intended to practice your bio, your chem, and your math skills. We are learning about the exam, including its sections, its scoring, and how it's used by admissions committees. And the major goal for this session is for you to understand why you're taking the exam, why it's important, and what's at stake. Additionally, as a note, Wayne State University does not offer any specific DAT preparation courses, nor do we endorse any of the prep materials that are out there. So starting off, how do dental school admissions committees use the DAT when looking at an application? I separated this out into four main ways that this is used. The first is to assess academic readiness, right? You took prerequisite courses for dental school. This is your opportunity to show them what you learned. It is providing them with a standardized way to ensure that you are prepared for the rigorous academic expectations that you will be subject to if they admit you into their institution. That brings me to number two, which is to compare to compare applicants fairly. As I already mentioned, this gives all applicants the opportunity to take the same exact exam that is written and scored by one company. Not every applicant has taken the exact same Bio 1500 class. Not every applicant is scored on the same scale. This allows admissions committees to see where applicants stand when all outside factors are taken away and things are standardized. Number three is to evaluate some of the skills that you need to be successful in dental school outside of just GPA. For example, the perceptual ability section, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute, is something that's not necessarily reflected in your GPA, but it is included in your exam score. Number four, to prepare for licensing requirements. Dental school admissions committees want to admit students that can be successful when they're faced with a big standardized test. In order to become a practicing dentist in the future, you will need to pass board exams both during and following dental school. So admissions committees want to admit students that they can be confident in when it's time to take those exams later on. All right, moving on to what is DAT. Your short, quick answer is going to be that it is the dental school admissions test, which is a standardized exam that dental schools are using to evaluate an applicant's readiness for dental school. It is comprised of four main sections, which you can see here in these light yellow boxes, along with how long you are given to complete each section. The first is about an hour and 30 minutes long, and it's the Survey of Natural Sciences section. It's going to cover your biology, your general chemistry, and your orgo. So really, those prerequisite science courses are going to be assessed here. Next, you have the perceptual ability test, which is an hour long. Here, they are looking at your spatial reasoning and visual perception skills. These are things that you might be practicing and observing in your shadowing, in your dental assisting. If you've done anything specific to work on that manual dexterity piece, you might get a little bit of perceptual ability in there, and then definitely in preparation for the exam, you're going to want to focus on this. Next, reading comprehension. It's also an hour long, and here they're looking at your ability to understand and analyze scientific passages. If you're a research assistant and you are frequently reading peer-reviewed literature, if you did research for credit and took one of those research courses that goes along with it, that's where you're honing and developing these skills. And then finally, you have your quantitative reasoning or math section, which is 45 minutes. That's where your statistics, your algebra, your pre-calculus, your applied problem solving really comes into play. One major takeaway from this section is that your dental school prerequisite coursework is important. The content that you're learning in your prerequisite courses is exactly what they're going to test you on this exam. Down here, I've listed the total time and total cost of the exam. As we can see, it's 5 hours long and it's going to cost you $585 just to walk in that room and sit down. Because of the time and money that it takes for this exam, the DAT requires significant physical resources, meaning your time and your money, and also mental resources. So that's your energy, your motivation, your discipline to prepare. You should aim to take the exam one time so that you can preserve these resources. Okay. Scores. So if you have talked to peers who took the exam prior to last cycle or family members, they might have a different experience with their scoring. Last cycle, this stuff updated, and now the scores range between 200 and 600. So they used to be two-digit scores, now we're looking at three-digit scores. The average score is going to be about a 400, and to be competitive, you should really be aiming for a 420 or above. The other big difference is that with this new scoring system, there is no unofficial score release. You get one score and it's released 3 to 4 weeks after your test date. This is important to note because it might influence the time in which you decide to take the exam. For example, if you are hoping to apply in May and you take your exam in May, that means that you're planning to apply without seeing that score. Similarly, right, if you take it at the end of April, maybe now you're not going to apply until the end of May because you want to give it that month-long period to make sure that you get to see that score and that it's a score that you like before submitting your application. There are 7 different scores. The Survey of Natural Sciences is broken down into 3 separate subject scores. So you have your biology, your general chemistry, and your organic chemistry received as 3 scores, even though they're all from one section. The remaining sections, you just get 1 score. So perceptual ability, that section gets a score. Reading comprehension section gets a score. Quantitative reasoning section gets a score. Finally, you get an academic average. So that is going to be your bio, your general chemistry, your organic chemistry, your reading comprehension, and your quantitative reasoning. So all other scores except for perceptual ability. In addition to that, some schools are going to calculate a total science, which is going to be your average for your natural sciences. So biology, general chemistry, organic chemistry. This score is not officially reported, so you won't see it on a score report. It's just something to be aware of because some institutions will calculate this and use it internally. Additionally, as another note, you want these scores to be near each other. All of the sections of the DAT are important predictors of success in dental school, so they don't necessarily want to admit a student who has a 600 in reading comprehension, but only a 300 in their chemistries. All right. Pause and recap. So we just talked about a lot of information on only a few slides. The good news is that because this is recorded, you can always go back and watch it again if you need to, but I wanted to take a minute to pause and review the 3 big takeaways that I want you to have from this part 1. The first, the DAT is expensive and time consuming. I want you to conserve your literal and metaphorical resources. Remember, those were your time, your money, your energy, your motivation, by planning to take this exam one time when you are fully ready. This is going to save you that money, that extra study time, stress, and energy. Number 2, prerequisite coursework matters. We saw that when we looked at the sections and what classes are relevant for preparing you to answer those questions. If you receive bare minimum grades in all of your prereqs, that signals that you might need to spend a little extra time studying as opposed to if you have all A's and you have really great strong notes to go back to. I want to encourage you, if you're early enough on this journey, to treat your coursework as exam prep and make sure that you're getting the most out of your courses. Number three, timing matters. We talked about this in terms of when you take the exam, because you're going to have to wait 3 to 4 weeks to get that score. It also should be looked at in regards to preparation. I want you taking the exam one time when you are ready. Do not take it because your friends are taking it. Don't take it because you feel like you're behind. Don't take it without finishing those prereq courses. Don't take it without considering application timeline. I really want you to plan strategically so that you can maximize your chances of success. Hopefully, only take this exam once. All right, that is all for part one. Thank you for joining me. In part two, we're going to go into a little bit more of how do I know when I'm ready? How should I prepare? How should I make these decisions? And then a little bit about registration, fee assistance, test day, and all of those kind of nitty-gritty details. Thank you.